There was a time when I believed that if I played by the rules of the system, submitted to authority, kept my nose down, and worked hard, that I would achieve what I aspired based off the merit of my production. Surrounded by what I thought were honorable, courageous, and committed peers, only to discover that I was actually surrounded by a pit of interconnected, vengeful, venomous vipers and rattlesnakes. Instead of hearing the warnings or beads of a rattle, you would get one of two declarations. We are all green, or remember why you joined. However, it did not take long to see there were different shades of green. In order to access resources, you must commit 2 decades to the team. Imagine you join, not to travel, not for a sex change, not for women, not for a sports car, marriage fraud, not for extra money, not for food, not for shelter, not for citizenship, not to escape an abusive household, not for cosmetic surgery, but for free college. And the resources to aid you in the pursuit of education as advertised. However, no matter what you did, you were prevented or unfairly overcharged to access resources. After enduring endless glass ceilings that appear to be solely based on race, what would you do next?
If you're a sergeant and below, utilize PTAT. Request PTAT. You can request up to 30 days, no questions asked of PTAT.
After going on wild goose chases to provide documentation for programs you wish to attend, you decide to seek professional help as you recognize that you are indeed being targeted intentionally. You are actively progressing in your assigned career field. Your character is one of dependability, as described by your direct superiors, peers, as well as the aircraft work orders you sign off. You are even continually and faithfully pushing towards your educational aspirations as well, despite your command's efforts to constantly dissuade you, until it seems unbearable to the point you no longer wish to live. You go to seek professional help from a mental health professional, and they say, your eyes are lying to you. You are not experiencing the things you are experiencing. Even though you want to kill yourself, sustain traumatic brain injury, insomnia, anxiety, serious mental distress, display significant signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, it's normal. In fact, the culmination of all these things makes you deployable, able to carry/handle a firearm, able to be stationed worldwide, suitable to continue serving, able to keep performing your assigned job. After you leave this mental health professional, they notify your commander because he has HIPAA access and definitely not to retaliate. And now you no longer have faith in the mental health resources because you realize they're in cahoots and interconnected with your chain of command. Not only do you not trust mental health and your chain of command, but the fabric of honor and integrity is surely eroding away completely. Now that mental health is perceived as an NFL doctor, they don't get paid to keep the players healthy. They get paid to keep the players on the field and make the owners money. This had now become the embodiment of myself as I was thoroughly reminded that I was government property. After being charged leave and denied PTAD, upon my return, I attempted to stand up for myself by requesting masks in order to get my leave days refunded retroactively due to the PTAD request not violating the PTAD order. However, despite this fact, the Brigadier General sided with my commander due to 2 dreadful words that would haunt me in perpetuity: the commander's discretion. To which I was asked, why would I like the days refunded? I informed the Brigadier General, Sergeant Major, and Commanding Officer of my reason for joining, for free education, and I intended on departing the service early via Skill Bridge program or early release to further education program in order to pursue college. To which, as men, I was told if I got the qualification collateral duty inspector and got into an accredited 4-year university, I would be granted access to such resources that I had originally joined for. To to achieve my ultimate goal of becoming an anesthesiologist. A year passes, and throughout the time duration, I lock in and apply to Wayne State, University of Hawaii at Manoa, East Carolina University, and Washington State University. This was it. All the hard work I had put in for 4 years and 4 months was about to pay off. The strength of enduring targeted retaliation, the constant bombardment of being asked to re-enlist, the years of disrespect due to lower rank, being made to fetch tossed toolbox keys, completely dehumanizing me, there was finally a light at the end of the tunnel that seemed so dark and endless. I opened my email and I had been accepted to Washington State. Now I just needed to complete a final interview and I would have my collateral duty inspector qualification. At the time of this maintenance officer interview, I was simply told to return another day after quietly waiting outside his hatch. When I returned back to the work center, I had been told that I Spartan kicked open the door and interrupted the maintenance officer and commanding officer's conversation, to which I was called to the back division office and questioned because even they knew that didn't sound like something I would do. Of course, upon further investigation, it was found that the maintenance officer lied and they kept that between the staff NCOs and officers. This further fueled my depression, not because he lied and I know I didn't do it, but because this was once again a blanketed racial attack with no premise or proof needed, and head of every division had to think I was a shitbag, even though it wasn't true. The damage had been done. It showed me that if you have shiny insignias on your collar, you could come up with whatever and blame an enlisted or anyone, especially a dark green Marine, and you would be believed. This utterly destroyed all faith in my chain of command, the Marine Corps, and authority. However, I still persisted and obtained my collateral duty inspector qualification. Of course, shortly after this event, it was time to route skill bridge package, which got denied, early release further education package, but also attend a mandatory in-person Washington State freshman orientation. So I flew from Iwakuni, Japan, all the way to Pullman, Washington for a 3-day orientation costing around $4,000 in total fees, but it's the best I've ever felt in all of my 4 years and 7 months of active duty service. Upon returning back, I would be notified that my early release to further education program was denied due to lack of leave days by 48 hours, as if they didn't manufacture it to be so. I wouldn't be able to attend the fall or winter semester. After constant compromising, it was clear that they were exploiting me for labor and not honoring their word. It was clear these people were dishonorable liars. This was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Afterwards, they even had to go to ask me, well, now that you're not going to uni, do you want to re-enlist? At this point, I became enraged and infuriated. It was clear to everyone but me what was going on, and I wanted to end it all and seek the most destructive forms of revenge. After I denied re-enlistment, they turned up the harassment more and placed me upon a urinalysis for 8 weeks straight. Called it random, but it was used to cancel my appointments and forge results, until the final result, where I actually popped in October after a night at a buy me drink bar, and the vape the young lady patron had in her possession did not contain nicotine as I thought, but rather cannabinoid oil. After the incidental ingestion, of course the next day came the surprise urinalysis. For the 8th time, they finally got what they needed to snatch my GI Bill away that I had worked hard for 4 years and 9 months honorably. November 1st, I was slated to pick up sergeant, but when the time came, there was no promotional warrant. I wasn't allowed to drink at the ball, let alone have my date stay on base as intended. For Thanksgiving, they gave me an NJP, which felt more like a public lynching. Though I had 2 character witnesses, one refused to speak on my character because he was informed by the sergeant major that his warrant officer package would be routed through him and others. It was obvious that I was up against a machine that didn't play by the same rules. After taking everything I had worked for, I had decided that now was the time to leave this earth. What else did I have? What was the point of continuing on? The reason for joining my whole life's goal of becoming an anesthesiologist crushed. What had I spent the last 5 years of my life doing? The emotional and racial abuse I've turned the other cheek to due to all who see these prison screenings. The disrespect I endured as my co-workers would antagonize me, and weaponize equal opportunity, then play victim. The weaponization of negative counselings because they want to assert dominance. What did I have to show for it? I grabbed that medical grade, extra strength Tylenol and 30 went straight to my liver. I had enough of the games, of the lies, of the disrespect, of targeting me simply for wanting to leave and better myself. I wish they would have told me Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, other name was the Hotel California. After processing out of Pendleton, I had three choices. Go to school in Washington State off of loans, return back to my hometown as most others do, or take that chance, withdraw from my TSP, and book that one way to Thailand with no guarantees. So there I was, Christmas morning in Bangkok, Thailand. No clue really what to do, but I was here with cash plus an additional travel reimbursement funds and tax returns should be coming, right? Well, the taxes did, but IPAC did what IPAC does and screwed me out of 2.5 plus grand. Afterwards, I stopped. I had to assess and ask God what I was truly grateful for. And I said my parents. Instantly, I broke down because though I felt like I lost it all, not only did I have family, but I had parents. I felt gluttonous and privileged when there's orphans who may have never knew or had their parents. I began to feed them when I could and enrolled into a Thai language school, which was challenging but fun. During this time, I spent my 27th birthday making my next life-altering move. From the first punch through, I knew I had not only found a new outlet, but a new meaning and purpose in life. I told myself, this is it. This would be the way I would provide for my family and how to fight against everything that was unfair. I had no restrictions. No asking a grown man, can I? No more fucking up my face and shaving my skin grafts. No more UCMJ. No tolerating BS for free college. No more disrespect. And if so, you paid for it right then and there legally. And I finally felt free to be as violent as I truly wanted to be. No more life cycles of a record or co-workers who touch, record, or assault kids. No more hypocritical do as I say, not as I do. No more racial BS standards. No more officers attending Pineapple March swinger parties. When I'm in the ring, I am the commander, and the violence I inflict is at my discretion. No more fraudulent field day failures to maintain a power structure so people aren't complacent. No more pulling all the hard work with no credit. No more letting my family down. Once again, I can be that beacon of hope for my nephews and my family.